Well, what we talked about in that session, as you know, was challenges and kind of solutions, and I guess I was struck by a few things. The first was how diverse perceptions of challenges are, but there were some common sort of themes there, and I guess for me the sort of big themes that came out were managing the process of change and particularly resistance to change and the importance of communication. It was about the importance of not just training but recruitment as a way to ensure that organisations have the right skills mix. And I think the third thing that came through very strongly was finding ways to communicate a vision and take staff with you so that everybody was kind of on the same page. So I'd say those were the three sort of big things, but there was a lot of diversity. Different organisations obviously have different challenges and perceive different solutions.
The three things from us was, one, Penny was awesome. The second thing was that we based on mutuality. We forget about mutuality and how we can all work together for mutual benefit. It doesn't have to be a loser. And we played a couple of games, one about the wants of commissioners, providers and disabled people. It's quite scary because I've got three groups to come up with those wants, hoping they'd be the same thing, and they were on the whole. Value for money, transparency, quality assurance. So it's just about how we can work together to build that kind of mutual relationship. Commissioners want value for money, and they're looking for quality, and they want enough providers, so there's choice, flexibility, responsiveness, great outcomes for their service users. So they want a flexible, quality, value for money service. Providers, they want flexibility too. Simplicity, they want quality outcomes. For us providers, we're not in it to deliver crap, are we? We don't really want to do that. Who wants to do that? We wouldn't be in this game. But we want some honesty and transparency. We want constructive feedback. We want a relationship and support to transform. Okay? So actually the commissioners and providers, same page. And disabled people, they want the same as well. A quality service, respect, trust, skilled workers, which leads, which gives the quality assurance, and compassion. So actually, when you think about it, there must be a way of building a system and a relationship, whether that be with NDIS or personalisation, where everybody gets what they want. Because we can build a mutual system. So it doesn't always have to be this artificial dog eat dog, I buy this, you do that, I do this kind of thing. I think the third thing was staff are key, and one fourth thing, because although Penny is awesome, that was a bit of a... The third thing is personalisation has a lot of benefits for disabled people and actually providers and innovation, but there are risks as well, and it's about how we mitigate those risks to deliver what we all want to deliver, which is really great support.
I was amazed at how interested everybody is here. I mean, everybody was engaging. They really wanted to learn. They weren't just sitting there. There was a lot of questions. And I think that's really good for where we're going, because there's a lot of people interested in different models, and interested in finding out how they're going to do it. And even though they're all very diverse and got different issues, there was this, I mean, I use the word teachable spirits, you know, so there's this ability to want to be able to change and learn. And the next one was, how do we pass that on? You know, if there's difficulties and things like that, I suppose, how are we going to pass these on? And the third bit, I think, was getting the systems and that in place, you know, how we're going to doing that. And it's from training, recruitment, all the way through to follow through and stuff like that. For us, and I think for Birdsong as well, you have to have enough of an idea of what you're trying to do to have a system in place to then replicate it, and as an easy, as simple way as possible. So we were talking before about, you know, when you start an organisation, you have a really big idea of what you'd like to do. So it doesn't matter how big it is when you start, but over time you crystallise it and you whittle it down so that it becomes much clearer, because what you've got to do is to give that information to you know, who could be my staff member. So I need to transmit that information in a really easy to understand way that you can understand, and then you can pass on to somebody else. So that's where your systems are really important, because they make you work into that crystallised idea, because sometimes they've only got a little bit of space where you can put your information. So you've got to figure out what it is, the nut of what we're trying to tell people. I think it's been a really interesting conference, and I thank you for putting it together, because I've really enjoyed it. So thanks.
I think the key thing that I'm going to take away from today is, from all the presenters that we've seen, they've had a great understanding of the business models and the business reasons behind the services they're delivering, but also the social values that they're trying to achieve, and they've really brought those two things together in the organisations that they're leading.
The session this morning, which has been about providing looking at different models of service delivery around NDIS, has been really provocative for me. We run a service here which is a fairly traditional sort of service, run on a fairly traditional sort of business model. And this has really made us think about different ways of doing things, especially in the cooperative model that we've seen both from Guy and from Robin, looking at ways in which we can engage staff to motivate staff, but also to engage them in quality service delivery. They're the things that we've really taken away from today.
Today's event is very important and I think highly informative for us here in the ACT right now.
Days like today are really important to us to get, a little bit of your head above the clouds and actually look at a broader perspective and think through different ways of doing things, being challenged to think differently, and to learn, I guess, in terms of from what other people are doing, and maximising that in your own organisations.
I found that the day's been very useful, and it's been very thought-provoking. So I'm looking forward to going away and reflecting some more on what I've heard, particularly interested in some of the overseas case studies. I think they're also very useful in terms of another perspective.
I think the benefits of an event such as this is about getting people to think about the introduction of NDIS more seriously.
I think that Bill's capturing the concept of low road and high road has been absolutely fantastic today. I think it resonates with most of the people who are here, and I think very poignant in that it kind of just, for me, just really symbolises the absolute place of struggle that we're at. So there is this focus on low road, so how do we get to the high road? And I think this is what this forum is all about. It's about elevating to the high road.